What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Kicking It with Crowder. So tonight I am recording two different ways. I'm recording on my microphone right here so I can hear myself, and I'm also recording here on my mic that is connected to my iPhone. So if you join the live, can you please just let me know if you can hear me or not? I just need to make sure to see if the microphone is working and my sound is working. So please, if you are watching, please let me know down below if you can hear my sound. What's going on, everyone? I have a great show for us tonight. Basically, you got the baseball cranking up. You got 2 weeks. Hey, if you are, I see one person right now is on the live. Can you hear me? Is my microphone working? Just please let me know. And if it is working, does it sound like a microphone and not just a regular iPhone? Please let me know down below. Please comment, share, like, do all those things like we always do, guys. And we'll get started here in just a second. Really, really great time of the year right now in August. Baseball's ramping up with the last 2 months. Also, football is cranking up here as well. So I'm really excited, guys, to bring y'all this show tonight. All right? So we'll bring this show here in 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Kicking It with Crowder. This is episode 94. So this is, like I just said, this is one of the best times of the year right now, guys. Summer comes to an end. Fall is right around the corner with football. Just a fall Saturday afternoons. The 3:30 games on CBS. That's just I love this time of year. So fall camp is going on. You have Georgia. You have Auburn. You have Alabama right now, the defending champions, in fall camp right now, doing a lot of these battles, a lot of these position battles right now, trying to see who will start for these teams. So this is a great time. We're 16 days, guys. We're 16 days away from college football. Nebraska and Illinois, one of the bigger games on that Saturday, August 28th. So a lot of the games are going to be the following Saturday, either the 3rd or the 4th. But Nebraska does play Illinois in a Big Ten matchup. So that will be something interesting to see. And then also, like I said, the following week is really cranks up. Number 2 Clemson. Yes, number 2 Clemson takes on UGA in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is just going to be an remarkable game. I just cannot wait for this one. Clemson is like 3-point favorites. They're like 4-point favorites right now. So I just don't see that happening. We'll talk more about this game leading up to it. But this Georgia offense, man, I see them hanging 35, 40 points on this Clemson defense, who's returning a lot of starters. I just think that this, I think that this Georgia offense with JT Daniels coming into his second year, the running back by committee they have, Zamir White, James Cook, Kendall Milton, Kenny McIntyre. Their wide receivers, they have Jermaine Burton. They also have, guys coming in, transfers, wide receivers. They have a lot of freshmen. Kevin, what's up, man? Can you hear me? Is my microphone working good and everything? That's all I want to know. Can you hear me? I'm changing it up tonight with a different microphone, so if you can hear me, please let me know. Comment down below, let me know. And I was just talking about the Georgia Bulldogs and Clemson. Okay, perfect. So I was just talking about Georgia takes on Clemson in Charlotte. Just an unbelievable game. I can't wait until this game. Like I said, JT Daniels in this offense, Zamir White, James Cook, a little staticky, okay. Well, it's a new microphone, so I'm just trying it out. Let me put it down here. Let me see. Okay, I'll put it right there, see if that's a little bit better. But I'm really excited for this Georgia offense, and I think the Georgia defense has a chance to be really special this year as well. They add Tyke Smith, the transfer from West Virginia, who will play that star position. They also add in De'Aaron Kendrick, who came from Clemson. So I really think that matchup is going to play a very key factor in Justin Ross versus De'Aaron Kendrick in that first game of the year in Charlotte. And then you have a guy like Kelee Ringo, the corner. I've talked about him multiple times on this show, the top 5 recruit in the 2020 class. I mean, this team and is Kirby Smart. It's time to win this game against Clemson right here. The recruiting, the top 5 classes are paying off, and it's time to go out there and win this ball game and make a statement for the SEC and not only Georgia that this season they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. I really feel like that opening game is going to mean so much. Now, yes, they can lose and still accomplish all their goals, but at the end of the day, you really have to go in there and win this game and prove to everyone that you are legit. Prove to these recruits that you're recruiting that Georgia's legit. They're here to stay and they're not going nowhere. So very, very excited for that. We'll talk a little bit about that and Georgia and how fall camp's going on later in the show. Tonight, guys, Washington football team and the New England Patriots, they're playing right now. The Steelers and Eagles are also playing right now. So Jalen Hurts, that's something to watch out for right now in this Eagles game. Can he improve on his 3 to 4 games that he played last year? Can he show the Eagles that he's going to be their starter, or is this going to be a team that's looking to add maybe a quarterback in the offseason, maybe a Aaron Rodgers type quarterback, or Deshaun Watson, who, if he can get all this legal stuff figured out, Deshaun Watson is going to be very, very heavily recruited from many, many teams. I think the New Orleans Saints make a lot of sense. I think that the team we're talking about right now makes a lot of sense with Deshaun Watson and the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, that team makes a lot of sense, especially if you're not sold on Ertz as your quarterback. They have a new head coach who did not draft Jalen Hurts, so that's something to look out for there. And then with the Steelers, Dwayne Haskins, he's trying to be their backup quarterback right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers behind Big Ben. This is a team that really liked Dwayne Haskins coming out in the Pittsburgh Steelers. They end up getting their hands on him right now. They have him in their quarterback room, and he can improve and try to be that backup quarterback to Ben Roethlisberger and show the Steelers that he can be the quarterback of the future. So this is a big game for him tonight. And then Mac Jones, big game for the Patriots tonight. I saw him on a couple series. He looks good. He looks comfortable. He's good. He's with his check downs. What's up? What's up, Coach? How you doing, man? I think that's Coach Carroll, but I don't know. If it's not, what's up, Carroll? If it's not Coach Carroll, but hey, so like I was saying, Mac Jones, trying to win that quarterback position from Cam Newton. So really excited to see what they're going on right now. That's on NFL Network as we speak. So Mac Jones, see what he's got going on. Also see what Dwayne Haskins going on for the Steelers tonight. So really excited that baseball's heating up. The Atlanta Braves right now, are 8-2 in their last 10. They have the walk-off home run last night from Ozzie Albies, and they are just playing good baseball right now. Although they don't have Mike Soroka, they don't have Ronald Acuna Jr., they don't have Max Fried, they don't have Oscar Inoue, they don't have a lot of people right now. Travis Denard, of course, made his comeback. He was in the lineup last night, but for a team that has struggled this year to get above 500, and a team who's has a lot of people injured, this team has never gave up. This team has never stopped fighting, and you gotta love the fight and love the grit coming from this Atlanta Braves team. And at the end of the day, them, Philly, and New York are competing these last 2 months, and we'll see what happens down the stretch. But I still like the Atlanta Braves to get it done, so we'll see what happens on that front. The Field of Dreams game tonight is going on right now, and boy, it's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. You have I'm sorry, I'm gonna turn on my fan. All right, so you have the White Sox tonight, playing against the New York Yankees in Iowa at the Field of Dreams, where they filmed the movie with Kevin Costner, and it is a really cool scene. I think the MLB needs to do this every year. Every team needs to get a chance to play at this stadium because, man, it is really, really cool right now, this Field of Dreams on Fox. I'm watching it right now. And then flipping that between Washington and New England in the preseason game. What's up, Glenn? And then I was watching the Braves earlier, but they were getting beat pretty bad. But we were just talking about the Braves. They're tied for first right now, 59 and 55. It looks like they're going to go to 59 and 56. They were down 11-1 when I started my show against the Cincinnati Reds. But, at the end of the day, Philly, New York, and Atlanta, it's going to be a really, really good stretch last 50, 60 games. So NFC South, we'll talk about them tonight. We'll talk about this defending champion, Super Bowl defending champion, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll talk about the Falcons. We'll talk Panthers, and we'll talk New Orleans Saints. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll recap the fall camps going on in Athens, Tuscaloosa, and Auburn, guys. You know what to do. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Hit that share button. Let more people see this so we can get this out there, guys. Don't forget to like my Facebook page, Kicking It with Crowder. We're at 1,000. We're at 1,000 followers, so thank you guys so much for your support. And also, you can also find me on Apple. I'm on Spotify. I'm on the iHeartRadio app. I'm on Twitter, YouTube, basically anywhere you get your favorite podcast, I am there. All right? So, I want to talk a little bit about the Atlanta Braves, and they have some guys coming back, so they have some reinforcements. They go out and get a Jock Peterson from the Chicago Cubs a week before trade deadline. They get a Eddie Rosario from the Cleveland Indians. They get a Richard Rodriguez, a pitcher from the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they get a not Sterling Marte. They get Jorge Soler, who has been really, really good in this lineup. Now, can the Atlanta Braves still win the division? What's up, Chris? Thanks for watching, man. Can the Atlanta Braves still win the division? Of course. Can they even win a playoff series? I believe they can. Can they win the World Series right now without Mike Soroka and Ronald Acuna Jr.? I do not believe so, but here's the thing. The Atlanta Braves do not need to quit fighting. They need to go out there every night for Brian Snitker, and they need to go out there and compete, and they need to, fight for a playoff spot. That's really what I think that the Atlanta Braves can do. They can win a series for sure. I truly believe that. Yes, they're probably going to have to play a Central team if they get in. The wild card's most likely going to go to two West teams. So it's going to be very hard for any team besides the Padres, Dodgers, or Giants to get into the wild card. So if you're an NL East team and you're not going to win the division, you're probably not going to get in the playoffs. So the NL East is very, very important. And the Atlanta Braves have a great chance to win it. Philly, yes, they're playing good baseball down the stretch. And New York's kind of tumbling a little bit. They don't have DeGrom. They're not a very good ball club hitting. They don't hit the ball very well. They're like 29th in runs scored. And and their schedule is really, really tough down the stretch. And that's one thing about the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves have a pretty good schedule down the stretch. So, last night, Ozzie Albies going against the former Atlanta Brave, Lucas Sims, hits the 3-run home run walk-off. That was really, really exciting to get the Braves 4 games over 500 and tied for first place. Well, tonight they go out and they shit the bed. They were down 11-1 earlier in the game. Don't know what it finished at, but they do lose tonight to the Cincinnati Reds in case a miracle happened. But Ian Anderson on the way back. Max Fried on the way back. Oscar Hinoa on the way back. So we have 3 guys who could all pitch, all be our pitchers in the playoffs. Smiley's been pitching a lot better. He could definitely get a start. But with what they've been able to do just getting to this point in the season, you got to give your hats off to these Atlanta Braves. I'm sorry. They've dealt with a lot of injuries. They've dealt with a lot of things this season that they did not expect to be dealing with. The loss of Acuna and then Ozuna was huge as well. And then this closer role has got to be either up for grabs or Will Smith's got to really look himself in the mirror, and he's got to pitch better. He just got to pitch better. He's got to throw his fastball more. A guy just doesn't throw his fastball, throws too many curveballs. A lot of people think he's tipping his pitches. Joey Votto last night was kind of describing that, he was kind of tipping his pitches a little bit. So that's something maybe they need to look at. But Will Smith got to pitch better. He's not the same guy that pitched for the San Francisco Giants 2 years ago. He's just not. And excited for the Braves finish. Excited to see what happens. So stay tuned for the Atlanta Braves and the NL East. We'll see what happens there. In the NFC South, of course, the Bucks return all 22 starters. They're heavy favorites to get back to the Super Bowl and win the NFC. I don't know if they'll win the Super Bowl. It's just so tough to do. Tom Brady's the last guy to do it, and the 03-04 Patriots. If there's a guy who can do it, it is Tom Brady. But I just think that the Bucks somehow will get to the Super Bowl, but I just don't see them winning. I just see them maybe losing a rematch with the Chiefs. The Chiefs have revamped that offensive line, so I would not be shocked if those two teams made it back, but we'll see what happens. Tom Brady, you're 43. Age 43. He's just an amazing ball player. What's up, Eddie? Thanks for watching, man. And Tom Brady's an amazing ball player. Got Leonard Fournette to hand the ball to, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, O.J. Howard, Antonio Brown. Got a really good offensive line. Defense, Pierre-Paul, Vita Vea, and Ndamukong Suh. They got the two linebackers, David and the LSU cat. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right here. Whatever his name is, the linebacker for the Buccaneers, a really fast dude all over the field with Levante David. And I don't know why I just went blank. I'll think about it in a second. And then their defense, Carlton Davis, Bunting, Sean Bunting. They got some hard-hitting safeties. They are very, very good defensively as well, on offense as well. So look out for the Bucks. They're probably going to win the NFC South, but we'll see what happens. And then the Saints, guys, they lose Drew Brees. They lose Devin White. Thank you, Eddie. I don't know why I lost that. I don't know why I could not think of him, but sometimes on these podcasts you just go blank and you just don't want to keep standing here looking stupid. So thank you for that. Thank you for that help. They lose Drew Brees, Emmanuel Sanders, Hendrickson on defensive line. They lose Janoris Jenkins. This Saints team is not the same Saints team from last year. That Michael Thomas isn't happy. Like I said, they've lost some of those defensive guys. Yes, they still have DeMario Davis in the middle of that defense as well with Cameron Jordan, but I think this Saints team takes a step back. I really do. In the NFC South, they've been really at the top of the NFC South for a long time now. Since Sean Payton's been around, they've made the playoffs 9 out of 14 years. So Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill, we'll see what happens there. I think Jameis Winston gets the nod, and then Taysom Hill's maybe that gadget player, but it's definitely something to keep up with. I think Jameis Winston, as long as he protects the football, he can be a good quarterback in this league. Just protect the football, make plays, and at the end of the day, give your defense, a break, and don't throw 30 interceptions this year. And we'll see what happens. I think the Saints will be decent. I just think they'll take, instead of going 11-5, 12-4, maybe 10-7, something like that. This year with the added game in. So that's my Bucks and Saints talk. The Panthers, they got a lot better this offseason, adding Sam Darnold to go along with Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. You draft Terrace Marshall in the second, third round to go with Joe Brady, the former offensive coordinator. What's up, Jamie? The former offensive coordinator for the LSU Tigers under Joe Burrow. He goes to Carolina, and now he gets to work with Terrace Marshall again and this great offense that they're going to have this year. I think Sam Darnold is going to be a hell of a lot better than he was in New York. DJ Moore is due for a breakout. Really, really breakout year. I know he's been good, but they had the 2,000-yard receivers last year in Moore and Anderson, but I think DJ Moore hits that 1,400-yard 8 touchdown, mark this year, something like that. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I love the way they've drafted Brian Burns, Derek Brown, two really stalwarts on the defensive line, and then you add in, that's decent for the Panthers, Jamie. They're growing, they're building something. 8-9 is good for them. I really feel like they could do a little better than that. I think they could go 9-8, 10-7. I really do. And the Panthers are always better when no one's really talking about them. Look at them in 2015. No one talked about them. They make it to the Super Bowl. So, Brian Burns, Derek Brown. They also have Jeremy Chin, very, very good defensive lineman. And then they draft J.C. Horn. So I just like what they're doing. I like what they're building down there in Carolina. They have Matt Rule, the former head coach from Baylor, who's kind of putting his stamp on this football team. So I like what I see out of the NFC South with the Bucs, the prohibitive favorites. Brian Burns, the Falcons should have drafted him twice in that draft. Really liked him coming out of FSU, of course, and then Derek Brown, the beast from Auburn. I mean, absolute monster. Really, really like his talent as well. So the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, the Atlanta Falcons are the team that, last year did not finish ball games. They finished 4-12. They weren't a 4-12 team. They were more of a 7-9, 8-8 team last year, but they're not able to finish these games, and they lose to Dallas, they lose to Chicago, they lose to Tampa Bay, they lose a bunch of games late that they should have won, and if I heard Brotherhood one more time from Dan Quinn, I may have had an aneurysm. I was tired of it. The Falcons needed a new voice. They needed a new leader. They needed a new regime. Thomas Dimitroff gone. Dan Quinn gone. You bring in Terry Fontenot, the New Orleans Saints player personnel director for 17 years, I may add. Oh, what the heck was that? Sorry, I lost... We're going to have to wait for a second. Okay, there we go. So they bring him in. I really, really like Terry Fontenot, what he's done in the draft. Bring in Arthur Smith, who was hired first before Terry Fontenot, so we really didn't bring him in. But at the end of the day, I really like Arthur Smith, what he's saying. He says all the right things. If he can coach at all, he'll be a great coach. I really feel like that. I know he can coach, so I'm just messing around. But at the end of the day, he says the right things. He's going to be a shot in the arm to Matt Ryan and this Falcons offense this year. They add in Mike Davis from Carolina. Julio out, Kyle Pitts in. Mike Davis as well. Like I said, him and Quandre Allison will be the running backs. Cordell Patterson will have some packages as well. And then Russell Gage will have to step into that number 2 option. Calvin Ridley will have to step into that number 1 receiver role. Really look for Kyle Pitts and this Falcons team to be a lot better this year. 8-9, 9-8 type team. I think that's realistic goals for this team. And they just have to go out there and compete and win now because they have some pieces. Deion Jones, A.J. Terrell, Foye Oluokun. They have some really nice pieces, but they don't have the depth. They really have to build that depth up of this football team. And I'm really looking forward to what they can do this year. 7 home games, 2 preseason home games, so 9 games at the newly named Mercedes. They're going to name it something different. It's not the Mercedes-Benz Dome anymore. So they're going to rename that something different. I'm not sure. Maybe IBM. I saw IBM on the Falcons, some Falcons press conferences stuff. So we'll see what happens. But very looking forward to it. We'll break down the NFC South here in the next week or two with my predictions and my picks as well. So guys, got a lot of notes. I want to talk a little bit about the AP poll that just came out. First, you're going to talk about Bama. They're going to be number 1. Number 2, Clemson. Number 3, Oklahoma. Number 4, Ohio State. Number 5, UGA. Number 6, Texas A&M. Number 7, Notre Dame. Number 8, Iowa State. Number 9, UNC, Sam Howell, Mac Brown, UNC. And number 10, Desmond Ridder in Cincinnati. So that is the AP top 10. No real shocker here. The top 5 programs: Bama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Georgia. So that's my question right here. How many of those top 5 teams get in the playoff? I'm going 4, I'm going 3, or 2? Because I'm telling you right now, 2 of these teams are at least going to get in. Right now, I'm going to probably go ahead and say at least 3 of those teams get in the top 5. And yes, you're right, Eddie. I don't think Notre Dame is a top 10 team. They're one of the teams I think is overrated in this poll. I think Texas A&M, although they lost a lot, Kellen Mond and all their starters on the offensive line, from what I hear, they have revamped that offensive line with transfers and also guys that they've recruited inside the program. They're going to be a lot better, or they're going to be fine offensively. Isaiah Spiller, the very talented running back, is going to have a great season, and Jimbo Fisher he's not really going to surprise people this year, but look out for that Alabama-Texas A&M game. I know that they got beat pretty bad last year, but I'm telling you, I think that Alabama and Texas A&M will be a lot closer this year. I think Iowa State, Eddie, you say Oklahoma is a lock. I don't know if they're 100% locked, because I will tell you, Iowa State is a very good ball team. Very, very good football team. And I know they have to play one time during the regular season, but if they have to play again, if Oklahoma beats them in the first game and Iowa State meets them in the Big 12 championship, Iowa State was really close to beating them both times last year. So, I like this Iowa State team with Brock Purdy and Breece Hall and Matt Campbell as their quarterback. I really do. So that's one of my teams to watch out for this year. I think UNC's ranked a little high as well, 9. A little high for me. I know they have Sam Howell, and I know they're going to have some guys offensively. They have the transfer from Tennessee at running back as well. I just think UNC's maybe a little high. Don't think they're a top 10 team, maybe a top 15, maybe a top 20, but I don't know about 9. And then I had some other teams that I thought were a little bit, not ranked high enough. Liberty, they weren't ranked in the top 25, even though they have Malik Willis, a very talented signal caller. Northwestern wasn't in there. Northwestern, had a really good season last year in 2020. I thought they should have got some votes. UCF and Gus Malzahn do not get enough first place votes to be in the top 25. And then Auburn. I thought Auburn should have been ranked a little higher as well. But, guys, so that's basically the AP top 25, guys. That's the top 25, and we went over the NFL. We went over the Braves, NFC South. Guys, until next week, I'll be back next week to talk a little bit more with more preseason stuff going on. We'll also be talking fantasy as well. So thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it so much. Like I said, Bama, Clemson, Oklahoma, OSU, UGA. Out of those 5, how many get in the playoffs? Let me know down below. If you're new to Kicking It with Crowder, be sure to check out my page, Kicking It with Crowder, guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm out.